I think what we have to do against Villanova is what the exact same thing that we have to do in every game this year. We have to be a defense-first team. Going into the Barclays tournament, we had played 8 good defensive halves. Did not have a great first half against Virginia. Had a great defensive second half. And then against Vanderbilt, we struggled defensively. Offense is going to come and go, especially with this team. But I think we can be an elite defensive team. And I think that's what we have to do each and every game.
With back-to-back Big Five opponents, does it not necessarily change the way you do things, but is there a different feeling this week than maybe a random team here or there?
Yeah, I think it is a different feeling for the veteran players and for the coaching staff. I seem to be the one that really focuses on the Big Five because the Big Five champion goes to the NCAA tournament every year. So again, I say this every year. I don't worry about Texas. I don't worry about USC. I don't worry about Michigan. I worry about Philadelphia because I think it's 14 or 15 years in a row now. The winner of the Big Five goes to the NCAA tournament. So if you're the best team in Philly, you're in pretty good shape. Now that's a tall order every year, especially this year with Villanova being around the top 10 nationally. So, but it's an exciting opportunity. So the Philly thing is something that we enjoy, and we think that winning in Philly can make a big difference in your season, and it's an exciting time.
Coming off 2 straight losses in the Barclays Center, you see a little extra motivation with the team. How's the morale?
You know what, we haven't practiced. Yesterday was our day off, so we haven't been in the gym to see if our motivational level is different. But this is a really good group. They do whatever we ask them to do. I thought we were a little bit flat for the Villanova game. Not sure why that is. A close friend of mine thought that the Virginia second half took an awful lot of energy away from us, and of course, Vanderbilt is wonderfully coached offensively and spread you out. They have 4 or 5 shooters out there. But I expect that we'll be highly motivated. This is a terrific group.
Talk about obviously with Temple and Villanova, you're facing 2 familiar opponents coaching-wise in Fran Dunphy and Jay. Hey, right. Talk about going through. I mean, obviously not the first time you're facing them, but
yeah.
Every time you guys face off, obviously big expectations. Talk about playing against those 2.
Well, again, I think not only as coaches but as programs, our next 2 opponents are traditionally at a high level nationally. And I'm sure they look at our videotape and they see 80–90% of what we do is familiar to them. It's the same thing with us. We look at them and we see, okay, they're running their system. But both of them just play such good basketball. They don't try to be too complicated. They keep things simple, but they play so hard defensively. They play unselfishly. They have good spacing. They have a wonderful combination, both teams, of letting their players be aggressive but yet unselfish with good spacing and good decisions. So they play simple, good basketball. Both programs do, and we're familiar with them, and we have a lot of respect for them. But we think they're great opportunities. They're high-quality wins if you can do it.
Does familiarity, does that make things easier, or is it more challenging?
Well, I think it makes game preparation easier. At least you know what you're going up against. You don't have to spend 2 days to figure out what Vanderbilt is doing, for example. The preparation is a little bit easier. But at the end of the day, what makes a game hard is the quality of the opponents. And we're playing great opponents. We know it. But that's why we're doing this. We want to play high-level teams. And the only way you get to high level yourself is to play those games and win some of them.